Welcome into the Landon Tengwall Show, brought to you by Bobby Rail Honda of State College. You need anything car related, go down there, tell them Landon sent you. They will take care of you. We are back giving you everything you need to know from interim head coach Terry Smith's Monday presser. Also this week, we're going to have 3 different head coaching profile videos for you guys. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, stay up to date. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we are going to do a couple different coaches. It's starting to heat up a little bit, so make sure you guys stay up to date on all things Penn State head coaching search. All right, once again, I want to commend Terry Smith on how he handles the media. He is incredibly candid and just, you could tell he says what he's actually thinking, and it's very refreshing. Some coaches do that. If you have a Lane Kiffin and probably goes too far, but you get it from some coaches, but you get so much coach speak, and it was probably a good thing because it doesn't cause as many problems, but Coach Franklin was very coach speak, so it's kind of refreshing for Terry Smith to just say kind of what we're all thinking. So I've enjoyed that for sure. Speaking of that, the vertical passing game, which I think is probably the biggest complaint for most of us. Terry was asked about that. He said they're going to make sure it's a priority this week. And he said, I sound like a broken record, don't I? When he said that, he was like, we're going to make sure we get it fixed. And he admitted, he was like, yeah, I keep saying it, and it keeps not happening. But said, it's on me, it will be fixed. And quote, we will throw the ball down the field this week. So it sounds like Terry Smith isn't super happy with the operations of this offense, but is promising Penn State is going to throw the ball vertically. It sounded kind of like when like you let's say you're over at your friend's house, right? And you do something like you guys do something bad, right? And the parents come back and they talk to your parents and they're like, yeah, they got in some trouble. And your dad's like, oh, okay, we're going to handle that. We're going to handle that. Like that was the vibe I got from Terry Smith. He's like, we're going to handle it. And it seems like he's not getting exactly what he wants from Andy Kotelnicki. So I don't know why it wasn't handled already. I wish it was. I wish we did it a little bit more against Ohio State. I thought some opportunities were there. I will tell you, Indiana is a big drop back in zone coverage. They are almost exclusively zone coverage. So it's not actually going to be as easy to throw vertical because they're kind of always in deep zones. But it seems like Terry Smith wants that to happen. Now, speaking of the operation of the offense, Terry was asked about what would he possibly need to see to fire a coach. I think it was kind of, we know who this was aimed at without actually saying it when the question was asked. But Terry said that the biggest issue with firing someone, especially a coordinator, because you have to have a succession plan. You have to have someone that you trust can come in, call the plays. I think it would be Ty Howell, but there's still a lot of movement. Then how much time can Ty Howell spend with the tight ends? You have an assistant tight end coach that can do a lot more work since he's going to be the offensive coordinator. So there's all of those type of things going on. He did say it's something that they evaluate constantly. So, yeah, like once again, very honest. He said he's losing sleep at night trying to brainstorm ideas on how to fix all of the issues. I kind of feel for Terry, man. You guys got to think, like, he was in, year 11 of just being the cornerbacks coach here. He was the assistant head coach, and he would be in on, like, some meetings, but he was just the DB coach, just chilling, like, not even a coordinator. You're not even responsible for a whole entire side of the ball. You're just responsible for the cornerbacks, chilling, and now you got to dive in to all these big issues. Like, he's basically a senior sales guy, and then all of a sudden he just got promoted to being CEO, but doesn't get CEO pay, just CEO stress. So that's what our boy Terry Smith is dealing with. I feel for him. He's definitely going through it, but he's doing everything he can, and I appreciate him as a letterman and himself as a letterman. This is a sacrifice for sure. Speaking of, back to the question, though, 4 games left. We're not going to make any changes. Just about everyone. It's sad, but I think it's the reality. Just about every single person in that building is probably gone. Terry Smith even said that. He said, look, we're all in here. Most of us have no clue and are probably likely not to be here in 5-6 weeks. So you got to find a way to just kind of keep waking up and keep getting after it. But I think when you got 4 or 5 weeks left, there's no reason to fire people. It's going to naturally, when you hire your head coach, he's going to make those decisions anyways. A little bit more on the offense. Terry was asked about Kobe Howard not playing too much. He said the challenge for the young guys is learning it completely. They may, especially wide receivers, he said, run short routes, not run the route long enough. A route, if it's supposed to be at 12 yards, it has to be at 12 yards because that is where the quarterback is expecting it to be. And so he says maybe guys did not get in because they're seeing those missed assignments in practice, basically. They're not seeing that they can fully grasp the playbook. I don't know. That's kind of a problem to me. Now, Terry mentioned having a ton of different personnel groupings. He said 50. I think that was a little bit of a hyperbole there, but he was like, hey, we have to be selective about how we can put young players in those packages. Like I said, that's an issue because if Tyseer Denmark and Kobe Howard have been here or longer, then Ross, Hudson, Pena. So if they can fully grasp it, it's not, they're a little bit older. I get that. These guys are younger, but you shouldn't be having playbook issues week 10 of the season. I mean, I say that we've had some problems on defense, but there shouldn't be a problem of you not knowing enough of the offense. You better be in your playbook 24/7. That's a real issue. If that hasn't been identified, that's on Marcus Hagans and that's on Andy Kotelnicki to get that fixed. That's a real issue. Even if young guys can't fully comprehend the playbook by week 10, you got to be in your playbook. So Terry, then last thing on the offense, Liam Clifford was asked about the Wildcat quarterback reps, the end around pass. He said, gave us a little bit of a spark. That personnel package led to Liam Clifford's third down, that 3rd and 10 that Ethan Grunkemeyer threw to Liam Clifford after Liam Clifford was basically playing quarterback for 2 plays. I hear you. It led to that conversion, but we were also in 3rd and 10 for a reason, and that is because we did 2 plays to Liam Clifford where both plays got exactly 0 yards. So he finished it off by saying, hey, we need to continue to find ways to be creative. I love you, Terry, but I actually could not disagree any more than I do, because I think the biggest thing you need to do is simplify. You need to make this easier. Everything that I'm hearing from defense, offense, I give credit to the defense. I think they were a little bit more together and they didn't have as many missed assignments against Ohio State. But it's clear to me that everything is too complex. So I think the word creative, let's actually toss that out the window and let's go simplify. Make this easy, allow guys to play at 100 miles per hour and just be confident in their abilities. All right, real quick, couple questions on defense Terry got. He was asked about why the pass rush is struggling. Said that they are, on defense, running a little bit more gap-controlled rushing than vertical rushing. OSU fans, once again, I tip the cap to you. You were kind of right. The whole rumor was that there's this thing called a cage rush, and that's kind of how Knowles' defense was operated, that everything is going to be contained, which is kind of ironic because we've gotten killed by these rushing quarterbacks, but everything is contained. Instead of just getting upfield and working any move you want, it's like, hey, make sure you're containing these gaps and not allowing the quarterback to scramble. Once again, like I said, that's kind of ironic considering what's happened. But also said, hey, we do not have Abdul Carter is what Terry Smith said, so that's obviously a big negative. I do think that's something that hasn't been talked about enough, how important, how much makeup Abdul Carter and Tyler Warren both put on their sides of the ball. I think that was understated, their importance in them leaving 2 first-round draft picks. But yeah, it seems like Terry Smith basically admitted it. If they're being told to what we call cage rush, you're not able to just go full speed ahead. I also told you there's too many stunts. There's too many guys looping around. There's not enough, just like you said, we're not a vertical rush team. I'd like to see that change. I think you got too much talent. Zane Durant not being able to really work a move against a guard and just worrying about contain. I don't like that. There's a reason why he had so many sacks and so many TFLs, led to FBS and TFLs for defensive tackles, because he was free to do whatever he needed to do. And I think sometimes, it seems like what I'm hearing, there's a little bit of a clamp put on this defense and these defensive linemen of what they can actually do. All right, last piece. Terry was asked about the DBs struggling against Ohio State. He said the style of defense that these DBs are playing, they were sitting on the routes too much. That basically means they are too flat-footed. The route, what they're running is, and if you guys let me know down below, I can do a quick film breakdown on it. They're running quarters, which is essentially, it's called match coverage. So it starts out as zone and it turns into man coverage. So you start in your zone. As someone runs into that zone, you kind of grab them and it turns into man as you're going. And when that happens, you can kind of second guess yourself, as you can guess. But if you've got 2 guys coming in your zone, you have to process it. You have to say, okay, who am I going to pick? So there's a lot that goes into that. And it seems like this defense isn't doing too great with that just yet. He said they need to get into their pedal, into that back pedal a little bit quicker and just be quicker to react. Once again, Terry Smith always taking responsibility. He said, it's my job to get back in the corner room and help those guys out, be more involved. So recognizing he needs to get involved a little bit more with that room. I think that's great stuff. Appreciate you guys tuning in to this one live call-in show tonight, 7:30 p.m. And like I said, we will have 3 different coaching candidate vacancies. Whoever's filling this Penn State job, we're going to have the full rundown on them for you. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.